This episode of the Teen Writing Nook is brought to you by our Project Graveyard because it's okay to have 15 abandoned drafts if it means you finally found the one that keeps your brain quiet enough to write. Season 1, Episode 5, The Why Bother phase. This is the Teen Writing Nook. For teen writers, by a teen writer. Creativity, not consistency. Chaos, not perfection. I'm J.K. Williams, your host, and today we will be talking about the why bother phase. So I'm going to start this by being very honest. I did not want to record today. My brain wanted to do anything but this. But here we are today on the Nook pushing through the why bother phase, and I thought that would be a great episode to do, the why bother phase. So let's do it. Now, let's be real. There's a stage in every project where the excitement dies. The novelty's gone and the writing feels like a chore instead of play. That's what I call the why bother phase. It's the filter that separates the I just wanted to start a book crowd from the people who actually finish. My advice is to don't try to hype yourself back up. You can't force dopamine. Instead, lower the stakes. I tell myself, I'm not going to write a novel today. I'm just going to write one bad paragraph. If I finish that paragraph, I win. I stop there, and I still won. And like most of the time, lowering the stakes is what it takes to get back into flow. It's not like, oh, I'm lowering the stakes, and I'll just stop when I lower the stakes. No, that is a brain hack to get back into flow. And most likely, 90% of the time, once you have lowered the stakes and started to re-enter, and you were successful at re-entering, you'll want to keep going. This is another hack. You have permission to be bored with the project. We usually think that writing has to be this magical, inspirational flow state where we're always writing and it's always just coming out easily and we have such a magical way with words. For 90% of writers, or I should say 99% of writers, that is not the case, especially those who have ADHD or neurodivergence. Sometimes writing is just boring work, and that's totally fine. You don't have to love every sentence you write to have a finished manuscript at the end of the year, month, or whatever your deadline is. That brings me into another piece of this episode, which is deadlines. A lot of people say it's good to have a deadline, and I agree. It just cannot be a hard deadline, and I'm going to explain what that means in a minute. We have, as writers and creatives, soft deadlines and hard deadlines. Soft deadlines are adjustable deadlines. They're like, okay, I need to have this done by then for myself. If you set a hard deadline and you can't ever adjust it for your own novel, you are going to become overwhelmed and less likely to write. However, if you have a soft deadline, you're like, okay, yeah, this is going to motivate me to work on it, but not overwhelm me, then that's the sweet spot because I can always change the deadline. Hard deadlines are for external pressure, where a publisher wants it or a client that you're writing for wants this done by that date. That is what you cannot negotiate, and those, thankfully, are usually for smaller tasks, not the drafting of a whole novel. So, I just really want to emphasize these three things, is that you need to have a soft deadline, not a hard one, for when you're writing with ADHD. You need to lower the stakes when re-entering your draft after the novelty's worn off. And it is okay to be bored with your project. Writing is not always going to be magical, inspirational, and flowy. There are going to be tough days. I don't know a single writer out there who says, oh, look, it's been 30 minutes and I tapped up 7 chapters. What a glorious day. Writing is the most marvelous activity on earth. If there's a writer out there, I would like to shake their hands and say, congratulations, you're not human. Right? There aren't any writers like that out there. So you need to remember that you have permission to be bored, you have permission to hate your project, You have permission to lower the stakes, and writing does not have to be novel to be done. It doesn't have to be new and exciting to get done. All you need to do is figure out what works for you to get past the why bother phase. All right, that just about wraps things up for this week. Please be sure to comment, subscribe, and follow me on Substack, YouTube, and Instagram. My Instagram handle is at jkwilliams.author_13. My YouTube channel is JK Williams Official, and my Substack, which is where this podcast is located, is jkwilliamsauthor.substack.com. This has been the Teen Writing Nook. You're in the Nook, so you should probably be writing. Have a great day.